Hello, thank you very much for joining. Today we have in our Education USA webinar, we have Rahul Sampat, who is an admissions and also international recruiter and counselor, and Nicolas, who is also a transfer student from Peru. So today we are going to be talking a little bit more about how is like a Peruvian journey to study in the US and how is it to look for different opportunities, especially in Texas State University. So I'm gonna open the floor first for Nicolas and for Rahul, for both of you guys feel comfortable. I'm gonna switch very fast to Spanish. Nosotros, como Education USA, somos una red del gobierno de los Estados Unidos, entonces estamos súper felices de nuevamente darles visibilidad dentro de este espacio y les damos la bienvenida a ambos, a Nicolás, a Rahul, y les damos todo el espacio para que puedan presentar la oferta académica y también las diferentes oportunidades que han ido encontrando, sobre todo Nicolás, durante este proceso de cambiar de alumno peruano a convertirse en alumno peruano, pero en los Estados Unidos como alumno de transferencia. Entonces, le voy a dar el host a Nicolás. Nicolás, are you going to be the first one presenting?
Ok.
Okay, do
Bueno,
you like to share something on the screen?
no, I don't have
Okay,
presentation.
nice.
Ok, bueno, para empezar, buenas tardes, soy Nicolás Villavicencio y yo soy un transfer student en la Universidad de Texas State y este es este ha sido mi primer semestre estudiando en Estados Unidos. Yo, bueno, antes de estudiaba en Lima, en la Universidad de San, y bueno, el proceso en realidad bueno, principal, desde mi experiencia para transferirse es bastante simple. Bueno, si se están transfiriendo de una universidad en Perú, am, uno tendría que pedir el transcript de notas a su universidad y de ahí tener que traducirlo oficialmente. Y eso es un proceso más o menos fácil en el cual una vez que tengas todo tu historial de notas, em, se traduce eso y lo envías a la universidad. En este caso hay dos formas de mandar la solicitud, son dos diferentes páginas. Y ahí, bueno, aparte haces tu solicitud y con tu transcript de notas puedes también evaluar que, bueno, la universidad luego de porque, bueno, con el promedio que usamos en Perú es distinto al de Estados Unidos, entonces, dependiendo de qué promedio tengan, va a ser distinto porque, bueno, depende de cuántos cursos estén queriendo transferir. Y bueno, también está la opción de el bachillerato internacional, que eso ya es a nivel de colegios. Yo también lo hice, entonces ahí al ser una, un tipo de curso un poco más global, es más probable que tengan cursos evaluados. Y ahora lo que quería explicar es que dependiendo de las notas que sean convalidadas, y qué promedio les dé la universidad, eso va a depender de si son aceptados o no. Y bueno, como estudiante internacional, uno va a tener que pagar inicialmente la tarifa de fuera del estado de la universidad, el cual es un poco casi el doble de la tarifa normal de matrícula. Entonces, bueno, para que si están interesados estén atentos en más probablemente conseguir una beca, ya que ya sea si van a aplicar como estudiantes de primer año o como transfers, dependiendo de su promedio, el promedio que les dé la universidad, o en el caso de primer año, también el promedio de secundaria o del IB, pueden conseguir algún tipo de beca, ya que, bueno, en la universidad, si consiguen $1,000 de beca, van a pasar a pagar la mitad. Eso es, creo que algo importante que deben considerar. Y bueno, en Texas State desde mi experiencia este primer semestre, hay bastantes ayudas para lo que es estudiantes internacionales, ya que, bueno, tenemos una oficina de estudiantes internacionales en el cual puedes pedir cualquier tipo de ayuda que necesites o duda sobre documentos migratorios o todo. Y bueno, también la vida universitaria, sobre todo en el campus de San Marcos, es bastante interesante, bonita, porque a diferencia de en Perú, que los campus no tienen los estudiantes viviendo ahí dentro, acá es un campus bastante lleno de vida y muy grande, por lo que, bueno, si la gente, si es que uno quiere, tiene muchas opciones, como hacer deporte en cualquier tipo de cancha deportiva que hay en la universidad o en el gimnasio. También dentro del campus tenemos un río, entonces también uno puede ir a relajarse ahí. Mm, También como algo que quería mencionar al inicio es que en el asunto de visas, uno primero tiene que ser aceptado por la universidad y saber en qué carrera va a estar aplicando para recién sacar una cita de visa de estudiante, que usualmente no es como las de turista, hay muchas más citas disponibles cercanas. Entonces, eso también es bastante importante. Y bueno, también mencionar que si uno quiere aplicar, lo más importante sería primero, si uno se está transfiriendo, qué cursos van a ser aceptados por la universidad, porque no muchos de estos cursos en español o que no están dentro de la currícula aquí en Estados Unidos no los van a aceptar. Y, y como segundo más importante sería ver el tema de becas, ya que, bueno, también tenemos una plataforma de becas mm, distinta, que no es la automática de cuando aplicas, sino que puedes aplicar después. Y eso también vale la pena bastante verlo. Y bueno, la vida como estudiante internacional en Estados Unidos, la gente en general es bastante amable y siempre ayudan. Entonces, y aparte, si es que deciden aplicar a Texas State, que sepan que pueden pedir a la oficina internacional que un estudiante internacional mayor les pueda brindar apoyo como un tutor. También, bueno, todo el sistema de matrícula de clases es bastante distinto, entonces valdría la pena que si uno aplica, averiguar y ver las diferencias, porque en realidad uno puede inscribirse a los cursos con mayor anticipación que en Perú, que es más o menos un mes antes en Perú y acá es casi tres. Y bueno, como parte de la vida universitaria, es bastante importante también que ustedes puedan unirse a un club o, o fraternidad dentro de la universidad, ya que ahí es donde pueden conocer más gente o dependiendo de los intereses que uno tenga, porque en realidad hay tantos clubes que quedan muy pocas, digamos, preferencias sin, sin observar, porque bueno, hay clubes para prácticamente todo y eso también ayuda a uno a conocer nueva gente o relacionarse con gente que tiene los mismos intereses que uno. Y, y por eso, digamos, no, o sea, no solo tendrían que relacionarse con gente que conocen en sus clases, sino que tienen aún más oportunidades de conocer gente con sus mismos gustos o gente relacionada a la propia carrera que estén queriendo estudiar. Y bueno, para finalizar, me gustaría animarlos porque es un proceso, si bien puede parecer bastante difícil al inicio, am, al final es fácil de aprender y al final aplicar a Texas State me parece una muy buena opción dentro de las universidades en Estados Unidos porque dentro de la universidad tenemos mucho apoyo para los estudiantes uno nunca, digamos, se va a quedar con una duda porque puedes preguntar siempre a cualquier persona dentro del área pertinente y te van a ayudar. Entonces, sí que se animen si es que están queriendo ver esa opción de estudiar en Estados Unidos, porque al final la diferencia con Perú es bastante y dentro de haber vivido las dos experiencias, puedo decir que esta es una experiencia muy grata y que no se van a decepcionar ni arrepentir. Gracias.
Gracias, Nicolás, por compartir todas tus experiencias. Realmente vamos a dejar las preguntas para el final, para que tanto tú y Rahul puedan responder. So now I'll switch to English. Rahul, I'm going to make you host so you can share your presentation because I know you have your presentation.
Yeah,
So feel free to,
us.
yeah, to present to us. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Nicole, and thank you, Nicholas, for sharing your experiences as an international student at Texas State University. I'm going to share my screen. Give me 1 second, and I will share my presentation. And I want to make sure I share the sound as well. So hopefully you all can see this. I'm going to switch to slideshow view here. All right. So hopefully you all can see this. Please let me know, Nicole or Nicolas, if you cannot see it. But my name is Rahul, and I am the international recruiter for Texas State University. So I'll be talking a little bit more about the admissions process, about the different academic options we have, some of the facilities that are available to you that Nicolas talked about as well. And at the end, I'll also be talking more about the cost for tuition as well as scholarship opportunities. And then, of course, I'll leave my contact information so that if any of you have questions, you're welcome to reach out to me as well directly. So I'll start with a quick video so that you all can get a sense of what the university is like. So let me just get started with that, and then I'll come back to the rest of the presentation.
Texas State University now has a new record for enrollment. There are more than 44,000 Bobcats enrolled for the fall semester. That's a 10% increase over last year's record. Texas State University is inviting 2020 graduates back to campus to celebrate their commencement.
The master plan will help the university facilitate that goal. New buildings, more parking, and enhanced connectivity.
1% of the cost of any construction project will be dedicated to public art.
Texas State reportedly set to leave the Sun Belt Conference and join the Pac-12. The league formally invited Texas State on June 27th.
This is a huge move for Texas State when it comes to money, exposure, athletic competition, and growing its overall national brand.
It's going to offer a lot of opportunities in terms of national branding.
Things are really shaping up nicely for Texas State.
Texas State has struck gold with going to the Pac-12.
The Pac-12 now has a school in the state of Texas, but it's not just any university, right?
If you dream big, you can be big.
All right. So let me talk a little bit about the university itself. So we are located in the town of San Marcos. That is our main campus. So we are kind of in the middle of Texas. We're located between the cities of Austin and San Antonio. Both of these are rapidly growing cities. Austin is actually the capital of Texas and is a very rapidly growing city, and in a lot of uh, news media outlets is being considered as a Silicon Valley of the southern part of the US. We also have a secondary campus in Round Rock. So that is a much smaller campus, and that is located about 15 minutes away from Austin. And San Marcos is about 30 to 40 minutes away from Austin and about an hour and a half away from San Antonio. So San Marcos itself has about 70,000 people, of which the university is about 44,000. Round Rock is a much smaller campus. So to give you an idea, San Marcos has about 180 buildings. Round Rock has about 5. So it's a much smaller campus, but we do have a variety of majors available on that campus as well. And I'll talk about that in a second. San Marcos itself is a very vibrant college town. Like I said, about 2/3 of the town is the university students. And of course, a lot of faculty and staff live in the town as well with their families. We get more than 300 days of sunshine per year, so it's really nice. No winters in this part of Texas. And we're in a very hilly part of the Texas area. So we have about 1,200 acres of natural areas for hiking and biking and trails. And we have a river that runs through the campus that stays at a temperate 22 degrees Celsius year round. So you probably saw that in the video where the river is running through the campus. People, of course, swim in the river, they picnic by the river, but they also use the river for taking samples, for measuring the impact of climate change, sustainability, things like that. And then, of course, as with any college town, there's a lot of restaurants, cafes, so lots of places for you to hang out in the town of San Marcos itself. Round Rock, as I mentioned, is a much smaller campus. We do take students at Round Rock, but starting this fall, they're only going to be accepting freshman students and not transfer students to the Round Rock campus. You do still get an I-20 if you want to study at Round Rock, but of course, as I mentioned, it's the services are more limited. They don't have as many on-campus housing options or shuttle services, but it is closer to the city of Austin. These are the majors that are offered currently at the Round Rock campus, so you can take a look and see which majors are available and which ones you might be interested in as you're weighing your options. In terms of the university itself, we've been around for 125 years. We're a large public student-centered research university. So we have about 2,000 international students from 95 different countries. We have over 200 different program offerings, and we have a lot of ranked degree programs in everything from advertising to engineering to healthcare to education and business as well. These are, again, just some photos of campus. As you probably saw from the video, it's a very green campus. You can see the river there running through the middle of the campus. And in terms of our traditions, our colors are maroon and gold, as you can see on the presentation. We have a mascot named Boko. He's a bobcat. You'll see him at a lot of our games as well as student events. And we have a fun tradition when people graduate, they can opt to jump into the river to celebrate the end of their academic journey. Of course, it's voluntary. You don't have to do that, but it's something that a lot of our students get to take advantage of. With being such a large campus, of course, there's a lot of campus amenities. So we have events going on every single day of the week. We are a Division I school, so we have about 16 different NCAA sports teams. We have 30 plus club sports and over 400 student clubs. So you can be involved in all sorts of activities once you're on campus. We have 26 different residence halls on campus, 3 different dining halls. We have a full student health center that has doctors and nurses on campus. And we have a recreation center that has a full gym, as well as rock climbing, billiards, and then there's also outdoor gear that you can rent. Most of our students either walk or bike to their classes, but there is a shuttle service available as well during the day. And most importantly, the shuttle service is also available at night. If you're, let's say, hanging out with friends at a restaurant or a cafe and you want to head back to your dorm, but you don't want to walk, you can call the shuttle service and they'll pick you up where you're at and drop you off to your dorm or to your housing. So it's like a free taxi service. And of course, this is all these services are completely free to our students. We do have a lot of different housing options available for our students. Most first-year incoming undergraduate students are required to live on campus. The only exception to this is if you have graduated more than a year ago from your high school, from 12th grade, or if you're coming in as a transfer student or as a graduate student, then you're not required to live on campus. But again, we do want most of our incoming freshman students to live on campus so they get to experience the campus community and get to, meet people from different parts of the world and make friends around campus as well. We also have a full-fledged career support team. So they do everything from resume writing workshops, mock interviews, cover letter workshops. They even have a business closet you can borrow clothes from. If you have an interview coming up, they have a career competency skill evaluation, and they host 15 plus job fairs throughout the year. So these are everything from internship fairs to job fairs for students who are getting ready to graduate. And on the left there, you can see just an example of some of the different companies that come to recruit on campus. Again, we have companies coming from Texas, from other parts of the country, and we have some international companies that are recruiting as well. On the academic side, we have 7 different academic colleges. So think of these colleges as the umbrellas under which all of the majors sit. So we have everything from the College of Applied Arts, Business, Liberal Arts, Science and Engineering, Health Professions, Fine Arts, Communications, etc. I'll show you on this page. It's a little bit hard to read, but these are all the different majors that we have available. And these are listed on our website as well, so you don't need to worry about looking for your major here right now. But we have almost 100 undergraduate majors and about 120 master's and PhD programs, and we're constantly adding to them. For instance, we just added a Master's of Science in Artificial Intelligence, which obviously is a very sought after field right now. And then the only other thing I will point out here is that if you see anything with an asterisk, that means that that particular major is STEM certified. So that's a science, technology, engineering, or mathematics major. You'll see most of these majors are on the right side under the College of Science and Engineering, but you'll see them scattered about in some of the other colleges as well. So for instance, in the College of Business, in the College of Liberal Arts as well. And what the STEM major does is it allows you to work in the US for up to 3 years without needing a work visa. So with most majors, you can work up to a year after you graduate in your field, but with STEM majors, you can work an additional 2 years, so for 3 years total after you graduate. So it's a big benefit for those of you thinking about STEM majors for your future. In terms of the application process, I'll talk a little bit about undergrad first, and then I'll talk about graduate as well. It's a pretty simple application process. You apply via Apply Texas or Common App. You submit the $90 application fee, which is a non-refundable fee, and we don't offer any waivers for it. You upload your documents, so that's high school or college transcripts. We don't need any kind of third-party evaluations. And then you send in your official test scores, which for the undergraduate is the English language proficiency score, which is required. And then we are test optional for the SAT or ACT. So you don't need to submit it, but if you do, we will take your scores into account for scholarship purposes. And then you receive a decision in 2 to 4 weeks. So we give out decisions on a rolling basis so that students are informed pretty soon after their application is complete. So that's really nice. It allows you to start the visa process a lot quicker than if you're applying at other institutions. For transfer students, it's very similar as it is to freshmen, but the difference is, how many credits are you transferring? Where are you transferring from? That will determine what transcripts you need to submit, and then also what minimum GPA you need to have depending on the number of transfer credit hours. All of this information is also on our website, so you can feel free to take a screenshot of this if it's relevant to you, but it's also available on our website. We also offer an intensive English program that is available for students who are looking to improve their English. whether they're students or parents sometimes as well who are looking for this. And we do offer F1 student visas for those students that are looking to improve their English as well. And these are just some of the times of when the ESL classes are available. I'll talk next about the graduate application process. It's a little bit different from undergrad because you do apply directly to the graduate through the graduate college website. And then again, you do pay the application fee. It varies from $55 to $115, but most of the time it's about $90 again. And then you submit your copies of your transcripts. So we need your official international transcripts and degree certificates. Our minimum GPA at the graduate level is typically 2.75 out of a 4.0. Some programs have a higher GPA requirement. So again, just varies from program to program. We do accept repeats or backlogs. So if you've repeated a class during undergrad, we will accept that and we will ignore your first grade. But anything after the second time you take the class will be counted towards your GPA. We don't need any third-party evaluations. We evaluate your transcripts in-house. And then the GRE or GMAT, it depends on the program, whether that's required. And then typically at the graduate level, you do have to upload additional documents. So things like your resume, statement of purpose, essays, any questions that that particular program wants to have answered, letters of recommendation, things like that. And then again, you will be required to take the English language proficiency exam. And those are some of the minimum scores that are required. But again, this does vary from program to program. We do accept a small number of graduate transfer students. This is not very common given that most master's programs are 2-year programs. So if you are planning to transfer as a graduate student, these are the requirements in terms of how many transfer credits we will take, depending on how many credit hours your master's program is. And then this is a list of English exempt countries. Peru, as you see, is not on this list, so you will be required to take the English language proficiency exam in order to apply for undergraduate or for graduate studies at Texas State. In terms of the immigration process, it's pretty simple again. You have 2 different options. One is you can upload your bank statements and your passport right at the time of application. By doing so, you will be eligible to get your I-20 within 5 days after you've been admitted. Option 2 is you can wait till after you receive your application decision and your scholarship decision, and then you can submit a request to receive your I-20. And at that point, it takes 3 to 5 business days to get your I-20 to be generated. So I'll talk about costs because I know that's always important for students. I think Nicolas mentioned this a little bit, but if you look at the costs listed here, these are annual costs, and you can see there's resident versus non-resident. So because we're a public institution, we have resident and non-resident rates. So normally, as an international student, you would be paying the non-resident rate for undergrad or for graduate. However, if you get a scholarship of $1,000 or more per year, you are eligible to pay the resident rate. And so that's a huge benefit. So let's say you're an undergraduate student, you're applying, and you got a scholarship of $6,000. That means your tuition and fees goes from $24,500 to $12,220, and then your scholarship is deducted from that amount. So then your tuition and fees would be $6,220 because your scholarship is deducted from that $12,220 amount. So it's a huge benefit that you get that allows you to really take advantage of the resident rate. I have worked in higher education for many, many years. I have never seen universities give students, international students, the ability to pay a resident rate. So it's a huge benefit. So again, if you get a scholarship of $1,000 or more, you're eligible to pay the resident rate. We do have a special scholarship for students coming from South America, and I'll talk about that shortly. So with the scholarships, there are 2 different types of scholarships at the undergraduate level. So first is an academic scholarship. In order to be eligible for this, you don't have to apply separately. All international or all students are automatically reviewed for the academic scholarships. If you have taken the SAT score, you are reviewed for what is known as the assured scholarship. If you have not taken the SAT score, or if you have not taken the SAT, then you'll be reviewed for the merit scholarship. So that'll be based just on your academics. And we have scholarships ranging all the way up to $12,000 a year, which is basically a full scholarship. And when you're given a scholarship, an academic scholarship, it is guaranteed for 4 years if you're coming in as a freshman student. So it's a really nice benefit to get that scholarship. The second type of scholarship we have available is a competitive scholarship, which you have to apply for via the BOSS portal. And that scholarship is, there's a bunch of different types of scholarships available by major, by region, things like that, and you have to apply for them separately. If you get a competitive scholarship and you get an academic scholarship, you're able to combine the two so they can be stacked one on top of the other. So it's a really nice benefit that we provide to all of our students, including international students. The specific scholarship that I said South American students are eligible for is known as the Good Neighbor Scholarship. It's listed undergraduate, but it's actually available for undergrad as well as graduate students. And so the Good Neighbor Scholarship is basically available to a lot of students who are citizens of Central and South American countries. And what it does is it basically allows you to get in-state tuition if you get the Good Neighbor Scholarship. So you do have to apply for it. Typically, the deadline is March 1st for that scholarship. And if you get that scholarship, then you're eligible to get in-state tuition without even getting an academic scholarship. So again, that's another way in which you can get that in-state tuition. There are also scholarships available for transfer students that are based on GPA and the number of credit hours, and they vary from $2,000 to $8,000 over the 2 years of the graduate program, of the transfer program. If you're applying as a graduate student, there's a few different scholarships available here as well. We have fellowships that are given to graduate students by the graduate college. So these are academic scholarships based on the strength of your application, and they vary from 16 to 50% of the tuition. Additionally, there are also graduate assistantships available. That varies from one department to another. So it really depends on your department, depends on the funding that they have. And then thirdly, graduate students are also eligible to apply for the competitive scholarships via the BOSS portal. So that is also available to our graduate students, and that they do have to apply for separately for those scholarships. So hopefully this made sense. I know it's a lot of information to process. So the next slide has my contact information. You have my WhatsApp number, you have my email address there. You can also please follow us on Facebook as well as Instagram on our handles. We post a lot of content there, including upcoming events. And you're welcome to reach out to me at any time. You can also schedule a one-on-one appointment with me, a virtual appointment, and I'm happy to answer any questions there as well. So with that, I will pause here and I will see if there are any questions or any clarification that I can help out with. Nicole, I know you work with a lot of the Peruvian students. So if you have questions for me or Nicolas, we're more than happy to answer those questions at this time.
Thank you very much, Rahul. Thank you very much also, Nicolas, for being here, for both of you. So I'm just not going to turn on my camera because I want you guys to be the center of this talk. So I would like you, please, Rahul, to answer, because this is like a very common question for us, especially as advisors, is when can they start applying, or do you have rolling admissions? Can you specify a little bit more about that, please?
Yeah, so we have deadlines for each semester. So if you're applying for the fall, for instance, we have 2 different deadlines. There's a priority deadline, which is December 1st, and then there's the regular deadline, which is June 1st. For international students, I always recommend that they apply early. So I would say most of our international students apply between November through like March, April, this time of year. Some students do apply later as well. It just depends on how long it takes you to schedule a visa appointment. So in some parts of the world, it can take 1 to 2 months for visa appointments. I think in Peru and other parts of South America, it's not as long of a wait. So sometimes students from that part of the world do apply a little bit later. But as I mentioned, regardless of when you apply, we give out decisions within 2 to 4 weeks after your application is complete. So our decisions are on a rolling basis, but we do have application deadlines for each semester for the fall as well as spring, as well as summer.
All right. Thank you very much, Rahul. I have a second question, which is very common between our students. It is about, is there any possibility to do work on campus, or is there any portal that students can look for different opportunities to, I don't know, work on, I don't know, as a resident or graduates, or to work on libraries, or I don't know, that many other different on-campus jobs?
Yeah, so it's a great question. And Nicholas, if you want to talk about your experience, you're welcome to as well. But all international students are eligible to work up to 20 hours a week on campus. We have about 5,000 different on-campus jobs available for student workers. So once students enroll, then they are able to access a platform called Handshake. And Handshake is like our internal LinkedIn for the university. So there's a lot of on-campus jobs that are posted on Handshake. And if you as a student are interested in 1 or 2 or 3 of those jobs, you can go in and apply for them. And just like a regular job interview, they will call you for an interview. You would do the interview, and then they would offer you the job if they decide to choose you. And depending on the job, some jobs may pay more than other jobs. So obviously there are jobs at like answering phones at the front desk of an office, or there can be more specific jobs. So for instance, our office has a marketing assistant job, which is really kind of someone who has some basic, HTML coding skills, but is also really good with social media and graphic design. So the student worker that is working in our office is someone who's majoring in international business and marketing. So it's perfect for her because she's getting some work experience that is relevant to her major, but she's also getting paid a little bit more because she has those social media and other skills that we're looking for, compared to someone else who might be in a more administrative role, for instance. But Nicholas, I know it's your first semester, so you may not even have been looking for jobs on campus, but if you have any experience around that, please feel free to add your experience.
Sí, bueno, yo ahora mismo no estoy trabajando dentro del campus, pero sí sería interesante para los que quieran estudiar entrar a esa página que dijo Rahul, que es Handshake, que ahí están todas las opciones de trabajar dentro del campus, ya sea en la cafetería, en alguna cafetería o la biblioteca, también como en las recepciones. Y bueno, también luego sería bueno considerar que también ahí están las otras ofertas de trabajo para prácticas.
Yeah, the one other thing I was going to add is that for international students during breaks, so in the summer as well as, more the summer, you can work up to 40 hours a week in your major. So as long as, you're working in a job that is related to your major, you're able to work up to 40 hours a week during the breaks. So Nicole, hopefully that answered your question that you were asking.
Yeah, sure. That is amazing. I think that's great news for first year students or prospective students in general, because I think that that's a great opportunity when maybe they don't have the possibility to access a scholarship. But I think you guys have different, like a whole variety of scholarships and different ways and paths to follow to access all of them. So that's great. So maybe just to, I don't know, to do like a final call to every prospective student for both of you guys. Maybe we can start from Rahul. You that have a lot of experience, many years in the industry, the education industry. What would you say, it's key for students to do during maybe at school, so that they can make their profile attractive to international admissions officers or counselors?
Yeah, it's a great question. So I would say if you're currently in school, Obviously, make sure you're doing well in your school in terms of your classes. Take classes that challenge you as well. If you're looking for AP credit or the IB credits or things like that, make sure you're taking those more difficult classes so that you can get those credits in college as well. Every university in the US is a little bit different in terms of how they evaluate an applicant. For us, for Texas State, we are primarily interested in your academics. So we are looking at your GPA, we're looking at your SAT score if you decide to take the SAT score. So those are the biggest factors that we're looking at. Other universities may look at, letters of recommendation or essays or personal statements or things like that. But for us, it's primarily academic focus. I would say focus on your academics, make sure you're doing well. Don't keep everything till the last minute and be like, oh, I'll increase my GPA later in 11th or 12th grade or whatever, because we look at your cumulative GPA from 9th all the way to 12th grade. So make sure you're focusing on that and then apply early. That's the biggest thing I tell international students. Don't wait till the last minute because you have extra steps that you have to complete as an international student that domestic students don't have to worry about. So you really want to make sure you're applying early so that you get your I-20 early and so you can schedule your visa early and get to campus on time. And then I'll pass it over to Nicolás.
Bueno, yo quería decir también que si están considerando estudiar en Estados Unidos, ayuda mucho si que se quieren transferir desde una universidad o si están haciendo IB. am, Porque, bueno, y si no, ese no es el caso, que sepan también que dentro de la universidad pueden dar exámenes para convalidar algunos cursos. Y bueno, como yo tengo la experiencia bastante fresca de haber aplicado hace unos meses, decirles que, como dijo Rahul también, que lo hagan con anticipación porque al nosotros tener que traducir documentos o sacar cita en la embajada y de ahí esperar un double check que hace la embajada luego con tu aplicación, que lo hagan lo antes posible para no esperar hasta el último segundo. Eso sí es muy importante, sobre todo porque uno no sabe qué inconvenientes puede tener durante el proceso.
Genial, muchísimas gracias, Nicolás. Muchísimas gracias también, Rahul. It's been a nice pleasure, you guys, to have you here. So I think like this webinar or talk is going to be so fruitful, especially for prospective students and for actually everyone who has interest in applying to a U.S. university. So we are happy. And thank you very much, guys. It was a nice pleasure.
Likewise. Thank you so much, Nicole, for organizing it and for inviting us. Take care. Thank you, Nicolás.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Bye.
Bye.